The disreputable El Monte sweatshop was a massively important case for its time. The El Monte case refers to the discovery of an illegal sweatshop in El Monte, California. The sweatshop was a representation of extreme exploitation, modern-day slavery, and included severe violations of labor laws and union rights. The overall front was an S&P fashion, which began around 1988. Known to be an average garment sewing shop, a family-owned business run by the matriarch Sunni Manasarang-kun, her daughters, sons, and daughter-in-law. The Manasarang-kuns knowingly broke the law and took many precautions to avoid exposure. To provide a conceivable source for the clothing being produced while functioning as a front, mainly when representatives from retailers and manufacturers visited to evaluate their facilities and merchandise, the operators ran two shops, with the additional location including the Latinx workers in the downtown Los Angeles garment district. Experienced garment workers, mostly young women, were recruited from rural villages in Thailand and led to believe that if they accepted this particular job, located in America, they would then be provided with exceptional wages and an ideal work environment. However, this was only a fantasy. The reality of it all was that S&P Fashion was an illegal operation. Workers were immediately placed in a crowded work environment with awful conditions after being smuggled into the United States through Los Angeles International Airport using fraudulent passports. Their overall task was to sew clothing, which took place in first-floor rooms of a two-story apartment complex enclosed by a security gate. The exterior was also enhanced with razor wire, with the perimeter secured by guards to ensure that workers would not try to escape. If they attempted escape, or to seek help, the operators would threaten them with immigration, deportation, and use of physical violence. The bigger letdown was that before the Thailand nationals accepted the Manasarang-kun's offer, the women were to sign a 3-year contract, indenture agreements, which committed them to repaying 120,000 baht, $5,000 in 1997, for, quote, transporting expenses. The actuality was that they would never be able to pay off their debts, no matter how long or hard they had worked. In addition, they were paid only about 69 cents an hour while working 18-hour shifts. Overall, the Thai workers' alienable rights were drastically violated during the operation of the El Monte sweatshops. In the United States, the sole practice of sweatshops is a violation of human rights. When we speak about sweatshops, the 13th Amendment becomes pertinent. Directly quoted from the United States Bill of Rights, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, or any place subject to their jurisdiction. This passage explicitly expresses it is overt that conducting anything that violates these amendments would be deemed unconstitutional. However, the operations of any sweatshops begs to differ. The minimum wage in the state of California in the year 1997 was approximately $5. With the Thai workers only being granted 69 cents per hour, they were crucially victims of wage theft, being derived of their legally entitled wages. The labor laws are instated to ensure fair treatment, safety, and legal standards. These laws are here to help cover a wide range of areas, including wages, workplace safety, anti-discrimination policies, and leave requirements. Even with these laws in place, the Thai workers suffered. Although they were not citizens, they held natural rights. The El Monte sweatshops operators worked these workers excessively, and yet these workers were never rightfully compensated. Human trafficking is a type of isolated practice in the United States that goes under the radar from the government. This exact practice correlates to the El Monte sweatshops. The involuntary force that was endured by the workers went on for an abundance of time without any speculation of it happening, nor any government suspicion. Rights should never be contravened against any circumstances. Proceedings of such are inhumane. These victims unfortunately withstood the worst possible inhumanization. The El Monte sweatshop raid was a pivotal event for exposing coveted forced labor and creating better labor laws. This case was one of many cases that sparked up the issue of human trafficking. It was one of many modern-day slavery operations during the time. It began the talk of how greatly impactful human trafficking has on not only the United States, but worldwide. In the 1990s, shortly after the outbreak of similar cases such as the El Monte case, the anti-human trafficking movement began. This movement sanctioned retaliation against human trafficking by the spread of media with citizen involvement. Responsibilities of the government is to ensure that people underneath their laws and rights are taken seriously and punished appropriately. The government acted by bringing the Thai nationals to justice with their involvement. The following statements include first-person accounts by freed workers from the El Monte sweatshop. Quote, "Me and my friend thought we could come here and help our families. Our families were poor," recalled the El Monte sweatshop survivor, Malawan Radifim Clinton, an El Monte sweatshop worker who, just like all the other workers, were told the same bold lie. Clinton endured countless nights of working with no adequate pay. She would sit and work until midnight, bounded to the units of El Monte, having no way to communicate her struggles to anyone. Quote, "I didn't know anything was wrong until I arrived," said Bunta Prasit, a former worker. Quote, "It wasn't a factory like I thought it would be. It was just a garage and a home. I had worked in garment factories. I knew what to expect in a factory," end quote. She was previously a factory worker in Thailand and expected a similar work environment from what she had back home, but her expectations were far from reality. All correspondence with their family back home was heavily monitored and censored. Most of all, she was not allowed to leave the compound. If workers failed to comply with the rules, they were told their families back in Thailand would be threatened with harm. The El Monte sweatshop operation ended with a raid by law enforcement on August 2, 1995, effectively shutting down the operation. There were helicopters, shining lights outside at around 1 or 2 a.m., said Kitchaf Iman Singh, age 59, who had also been held captive at the sweatshop compound. Quote, "At around 5 a.m., a police officer came to the door. We were all afraid. No one dared to open the door. Then they broke the door down. We were all scared and confused," end quote. A map and letter were sent by the boyfriend of an escaped sweatshop worker. The letter outlines the security measures enacted by the shop and pleads with swift action. Acting on the tip, investigators from the California Department of Industrial Relations stalked out the apartment complex and gathered enough information to obtain a search warrant. Ultimately, the El Monte sweatshop case exposed the harsh realities of modern-day slavery in the United States, shining a light on the exploitation upon vulnerable foreign workers. Throughout their captivity, these workers faced egregious violations of labor laws and union rights, including wage theft, illegal confinement, and the complete denial of fundamental workplace protections. Their courage in speaking out against their captors not only led to their own freedoms, but also ignited a broader movement for workers' rights and anti-trafficking reforms. Due to the severity of the El Monte sweatshop raids, the U.S. government passed legislation to support the immigrants. T visas, also known as T non-immigrant status, is a visa that is available to non-citizens who are or were victims of a severe form of trafficking in person. It provides immigrant relief, allowing survivors of human trafficking and their immediate family members to remain and work temporarily in the United States. T visas allowed victims to remain in the United States while receiving support. The T visas helped these trafficked immigrants tremendously and was considered a win in the eyes of American citizens as for the government. This case became a catalyst for stronger legal protections, influencing policies that increased awareness of human trafficking and enhanced labor enforcement efforts. Additionally, it undermined systemic failures in labor law enforcement and the need for more proactive oversight to prevent such abuse on foreign workers. Overall, this case challenged the rights of the Taiwanese workers in the United States and held the government responsible for the vulnerability of security regarding the foreign workers being smuggled into American land. The El Monte case serves as a reminder that labor rights are human rights, that no matter where you come from or who you are, it is an alienable right to have equal treatment under the law. As a nation built on the promise of freedom and opportunity, the United States must ensure that all workers, regardless of immigration status, are protected from the exploitation. By enforcing labor laws, holding exploiters more accountable for their heinous actions, and absolutely prioritizing workers' dignity, America can support a more just and a more humane labor system for all. The El Monte sweatshop scandal. A Fight for Fair Labor. Credits to Bryce, Spann, and Issabella Henry for writing the script, Styles Spann, Issabella Henry, and Peter Gonzalez for the research and the footage, process paper for Styles Spann, annotated bibliography, Bryce Spann and Issabella Henry, and for the audio, video, and captions for the documentary, Peter Gonzalez. Thank you.